Welcome back, everyone. President Obama imposing sanctions now against the Syrian government ahead of his major speech that he's going to deliver in just a few hours about the Middle East. He's expected to push for democratic change through economic reforms, but is the president headed in the right direction? For a fair and balanced debate, we're joined by columnist and Fox News contributor Andrea Tantaros and Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor Bob Beckel. Good to see you again, both.
You too.
It's been a while, Bob.
Yeah, it has been. I'm still getting over kill meat in that freezer, cutting up meat. It's what a thought.
It's an image, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
God.
Yep. Okay, so Bob, let me start with you. The president has a fine line today, does he not?
Oh, fine line. It's like Nadia Comaneci trying to balance on a bar. I mean, look, he's got the Israelis coming in here. Netanyahu, they're going to try to make a new proposal. He's balancing not one, but 8 different diplomatic, which by themselves, and it wasn't Egypt, Tunisia, all of them would have been difficult as it is, but now he's got an entire region to deal with. The balancing act is very tough. I don't think it's possible to satisfy everybody, but at least he's got to keep the United States engaged. I mean, what else are you going to do?
I mean, Andrea, do you believe that this is the right time to do a speech with all the unrest going on in the Middle East and the killing of Osama bin Laden, which he'll obviously talk about?
Well, I think it's important that he give a speech to talk about what his view is now that we've captured Osama bin Laden going forward. I guess my question is, who's his audience? Is it the Muslim world? Is it the United States? Is it the freedom fighters? I mean, I question why he's talking about giving aid to Egypt in a speech. I mean, there couldn't be a worse possible time for the president to talk about giving money to a Muslim country when we're debating debt issues here at home. Now, Bob would probably say we've given $50 billion to Egypt since 1975. But the question is this just going to be another cash for clunkers program? I mean, can we guarantee really by giving them money it's going to be we'll stabilize it? I mean, the president's essentially saying, let's borrow money from China, let's raise taxes to a country that has so much uncertainty. I mean, there's a record number of Muslim Brotherhood candidates that are getting ready to run.
I think Americans might be concerned about foreign aid, specifically with Pakistan as well. But, Bob, here's my question to you. It seems to me that it's almost impossible for the president to talk about detailed policy today when you have the U.S. entering Libya for humanitarian reasons, and then you have the U.S. not entering Syria when Assad appears to be killing his own people in the same fashion. How is he going to walk that line?
Well, it's a difficult one to walk, and you're right. I mean, the contrast is pretty significant, and part of the reason, if you want to know the truth, is that we don't really want to see Assad go, because he is one of the few stabilizing factors in a way for the region, for Israel. Israel probably doesn't want to see him go. In the meantime, the guy's killing his people. What are you going to do? Now, you can't invade him. You do as much as you possibly can with sanctions, but in the end, each one of these countries has different demands. And by the way, on Egypt, a lot of this is not new money. This is money they're shifting around. And I agree with you, Andrea. I think the timing is not best for it. But if we don't stay engaged in Egypt, Egypt is the core and heart of any future agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Right.
So we have to stay there.
But why even announce the aid in a speech? I mean, politically, what does this really get him by talking about giving Egypt more money? I mean, I don't understand that. I also think he's in a really tricky situation with Israel, talking about the conflict with the Palestinians. His administration, Bob, as you know, they have sent mixed messages on this for a very long time. So that's what the Muslim world is going to be acutely focused on, what he says about that. Everything is viewed through that prism.
And apparently he may only have one line about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, so we'll have to pay very close attention.
But he's got 2 sets of different advisors internally who have 2 different views about how to deal with it.
Yep.
One wants a very specific proposal. The other wants a broader proposal.
That's why
I think the broader proposal will win out. It's probably a smarter thing to do, particularly because Netanyahu's going to make his pitch, right?
Yep, exactly. All right, Bob and Andrea, thank you so much for a great discussion. See you again.